Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me. It's in the description below, tmosso@thewatchbox.com, to buy any watch you see here or on our website. Reach out to me directly, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing the Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch Moonphase. It's a moonwatch with the same 42mm steel case, but with sapphire sandwich construction built around the same Lamagna base, albeit with the addition of another counter and a coaxial moonphase and date display. This is a model line that ran from the 1980s until just the last couple of years, when some of the automatic moonphase watches succeeded the manual wind Moonwatch Moonphase. So the timepiece, of course, a little bit thinner because it has a sapphire crystal at 13.9 millimeters thick, 48.2 millimeters lug-to-lug with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Throw it on the wrist. My wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference. There's your over the top. There's your down the barrel. And then there's your cuff shot. And as usual, it's not terribly compliant with a tight sleeve, but you should be fine with a jacket. The strap's a bit more deluxe than you'd expect on a standard Moonwatch, as we get alligator here, which is more of a dress watch material, a bit more expensive, large rectangular scale. There's some bolstering or stuffing to add volume. You can see a monotone stitch. There is a sheer side showing the layers of construction, calf skin on the bottom. It's a brand new Omega strap. And then there is a full deploying clasp, both polished and satinated, and you can see it's a twin trigger release, so it can't pop open accidentally. And then there's a minder system, so you actually tuck the excess length under the clasp, so there need be no minder loops externally, nor is there any excess length visible externally, so it's a very secure, premium, and clean clasp design. Familiar case design, asymmetrical. This is since the mid-60s when we first saw the Speedmaster Pro. We have shear guards for the crown and the pump-style pushers. We have the lyre-shaped lugs that turn inward and then flare outward with the outer bevels polished, the mid-case satin finished, and of course the bevels flare at the end of the case. You have individual pusher adjusters for the two complications. There is a modular complication system on top of the basic Moonwatch caliber. The two pusher adjusters adjust the date and the moon phase. We have a standard anodized aluminum bezel insert and a tachymeter that you can use in conjunction with the chronograph to gauge the speed of an object over a mile or a kilometer, for example. The dial is matte black and printed like a standard Moonwatch, but it features a few upscale embellishments, most notably the use of polished chapter rings for the chronograph and constant seconds. We also have that lovely coaxial moon phase and date. The moon phase is romantic, if a bit impractical. The date, however, is hugely practical, and a lot of folks who love the Moonwatch but miss the date are going to like this watch. White varnished hands, as usual, to pop against the dial base. There will be a loom shot. Turn it all over, and what you basically have here is the 1863 base. First of all, this is still the Moonwatch standard, 50 meters water resistant, but rather than the 1861 movement that you'll find in the standard closed case back Moonwatch, this is the 1863 that has higher grade beveling and replaces the chronograph brake in Delrin with a chronograph brake in steel. You can also see it's nicely laid out. It's a big visible cam lateral clutch chronograph, which makes it a handsome and engaging thing to watch and operate. As you can see, the cam or coulisse system drawing the clutch into and out of contact with the chronograph center wheel. You can see the chronograph bridge, like all the bridges and the levers on this movement, with a glorious, bright, rounded, mirrored anglage that honestly is indistinguishable from hand finishing. It's that good. Lamagna, Omega, I am impressed. You can also see that the polishing of the screws is particularly bright. There's Cote de Genève across the rhodium-plated brass bridges, and then all of the steel components of the chronograph feature satin top and, again, beautiful beveling on the side. It's a really good-looking movement, and this is known as caliber 1866. You still have the 48-hour manual wind power reserve. It pivots on 18 joules. It beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour, and it is a very, very tough movement that is structurally the same as the movement still used on the Moonwatch as issued by NASA for space flights and spacewalks. So this is everything the Moonwatch is, and uniquely, in spite of the somewhat unnecessary date and moon phase, this is still a Speedmaster Professional and a Moonwatch. Whereas, for example, if you look at a dark side of the moon or a gray side of the moon, those are not Speedmaster Professional models. Because of the movement, the case, and the aesthetic, this one remains core Moonwatch. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And we're back by night with the loom of the Moonwatch Moonphase.